All right, you're now locked into another episode of the Black Vault Sports Podcast. We'll be coming at you live every Monday
Yes, sir.
and Friday. Time to be determined. It's going to pop up, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's jump into a couple things that went down, and I want to jump into first. And the Eagles had the public practice yesterday. I wasn't able to make it. I usually go every year.
That shit was jumping.
Yeah, they sold out of tickets. I'm like,
That
hell
shit
nah.
was jumping. I was like, yo, I wasn't there clearly, but I seen the video. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then they put them like on the aftermarket for like to sell them for more. I'm like, nah, man, not for no practice.
Word.
You know what I mean? So I stayed home or whatever. But I've seen a couple of highlights on Twitter and whatnot. But one of the things that went down was Landon Dickerson suffered I think a meniscus injury.
Yeah.
You know, today they're still waiting on the status. You know, but one thing about him though, man, is he's not in the best shape. Like he's just a big brute. You know what I mean, lineman. I'm not trying to take nothing away from him, but he's had issues coming out of college.
Was he the one? I don't mean to cut you off real quick. Was he the one that took over for Kelsey or no?
No. He's a left guard.
Okay. Got you.
Remember the dude that spinned around? He was talking about that spin around, made that spin block.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Yeah.
But it's Jurgens is the one that took over.
Cam Jurgens. Got you.
Yeah. So right now it doesn't look, it's not season ending, which is great news because that'll really hurt our offensive line. You know what I mean? If that was so, hate to see it, but it's a part of the game. A lot of people are getting injured in practice, and it's just how football goes, bro. You might even be hitting, tackling, you still might get injured.
Yeah, and that's scary as hell as for a fan, from a fan's perspective, because we have zero control over anything outside of us talking some shit to other fans. We don't got control, but to sit back and just be dreading that Schefter report that one of your players or one of them inside that one of them players is injured, you like, damn. And obviously I've seen that Cam Jurgens injury, and you know what I mean, we want to see the Eagles at as much of as competitive disadvantage as possible going into that. But at the same time, you don't want to see nobody get hurt. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to win like that. You know what I mean? Cam Jurgens seemed like a fucking warrior. He was a warrior last year, and you just hope dude is all right. And it's good to see that at least if he's going to miss Dominate the entire year. So
yeah, I just hope he takes his time and comes back and don't rush back. Just take your time, make sure you're 100%, healthy. But I take to my next story, man. Are you concerned about the Commanders' depth on the whole team? Because it was a preseason game, but it looked bad the other night against the New England Patriots. Almost 50 points scored. Obviously we know it wouldn't have been the same if Jaden and the people was in there and the starters in there. And I heard they were working out like 15 different players, 14 different players. Are you concerned with the depth? To me, it seems like there's a real depth issue. Most teams in the NFL, it's not like it's even a shot at the Commanders. Most teams don't have a lot of depth like that. If somebody goes down major, it's pretty much over with.
Yeah.
Are you concerned?
Not concerned, because this is Adam Peters' second year. This is the entire organization's now second year on being able to form a roster. And because we completely overachieved last year and did things that we had no business doing in the first year, it kind of makes, if there's more eyes and more microscopes on the team, because obviously what we did last year. But at the same time, to think that we were going to have a top roster in the NFL after having to overhaul it the way we did last year is silly to even think. So to think that those third and fourth string guys are going to be the way the Ravens are, how the Ravens just go every year, and it just seems like no matter what, their depth is insane, and that's why they win preseason games out the ass, because they just are so deep everywhere. I don't expect that at all. What I will say concerned me is two things out of that preseason game. The wide receiver depth is bad. I don't like it. You got
most teams are though. Most teams.
But I'm talking, okay, so you got Terry, you got Debo, you got Noah, you got Jalen Lane, that was our rookie, and then I got four guys.
You got Gallup.
He ain't making this team, bro. No, you know what? I don't even want to say that. He might make the team. I'm not looking at him to make much noise. You know what I mean? When you even though he retired, when you talk about what he did before he retired, for him to be out there against third and fourth string guys, and albeit we ain't have really no quarterback to throw the ball, but I want to see you take over. If you're gonna make a team in a Michael Gallup against third or fourth string guys once you was in the game, I want to see you take over. And he was just another dude. He was a jag. He was just another guy out there. So I'd rather see that roster spot. I think we're going to pick 5 or 6 wide receivers. I'd rather see us take 5 wide receivers and put that depth toward like a running back where we're deep at, or a cornerback where there seems like to be a lot of talent deep there, somewhere like that. I don't like the wide receiver depth. And another thing that I didn't like is special teams, because we prided ourselves on how good our special teams was the year before. You know what I mean? We like to kick within that boundary and stop people before they get to the 30. That's something we pride ourselves on. I like the way it set our identity for the team. And when you let a 100-yard kick go off the first play, when you let another kick, Antonio Gibson, ironically enough, damn near take one back, you miss a field goal. We ain't talking about a lot of people missing on the special teams. Now, a lot of those players that's played on special teams are going to be playing on Sunday, albeit maybe one or two pieces. But for the most part, that was our starting special teams. I didn't like what I seen there. So if I'm concerned about anywhere depth, it'll be wide receiver. And then I didn't like the play of our special teams. But I like what Johnny Newton did going against the first team, doing this thing. I like what some of the rookies did. So I'll take that. But yeah, that's where I'm at on it.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good point about the rosters. You know, it's so early. And I think what they got to do is give this man an opportunity to try to replenish this team. Yeah. Maybe like a full 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's going to take. Let's say if you have 2 bad years in a row and they just get rid of them. I think that's counterproductive. And people are already coming at him over this Terry thing. But we'll see how this ends up. We never know how this is going to end up. It's looking like y'all definitely going to need him this year. But that's any number one receiver. You know what I mean? Your team is going to need him. But there's other situations where number ones go down and people step up too, though.
Yeah, and that's what we need.
Not like, you need somebody to step up. So my next question will be, has Terry played his last game with the Commanders? Was his game against the Philadelphia Eagles where Quinyon Mitchell mocked him, was that his last game as a Washington Commander?
Nah, it wasn't. Wasn't his last game. I think he will play out the season. But not gonna lie to you, I don't know if this is his last season or not, man. And I really hope that it isn't. I hope that the dude can retire a Commander, because we watched him since 2019 come out when this team didn't have shit. He's ours. He was homegrown. You know what I mean? You want to see your homegrown players retire as, you know what I mean, staples of the franchise and the community. And he's been so good in the community, and he's been a stud. I mean, let's just call it for what it is. He's been a stud receiver for us since he came out of Ohio State in the 3rd round, 2019. So I want to see him retire with us. But man, as the days go on, as the weeks go on, man, and it seems like there's a stalemate, and I don't really have a concrete answer on whether or not the Commanders are lowballing him or he's looking for extra. I feel like there's a little bit of both. I feel like Terry's asking for a lot more than what he's necessarily placed in when it comes to his age and his caliber wide receiver. And I think the franchise is kind of maybe being a little cheap when it comes to him. Neither one of them is a good situation for us. I don't like it. It's concerning. I think he will play this year, but if something doesn't get fixed and he doesn't get a contract when the season's over, then we could have seen the last of Terry McLaurin in DC. But I'll say this, Washington still has control over all of that. That ain't up to Terry, unfortunately. Terry has no say in that. If you want to sit out a year, that's on you. If they want to franchise you next year, they can do that. So they had to put at least the next 2 years, which will be Terry's 30, 31, and then going into his 32, age-wise, they got control, man. So I see him playing next year with the Commanders. Outside of that, man, I really don't know, but I hope he retires with us, man. I really do.
Yeah, and you know what makes this so bad is this is probably like 70% of him getting his last big contract. Like after this, no matter what he does, like nobody is going to give him that big deal. Probably, I think he has a 70% chance of not getting that big deal.
Yeah,
if the Commanders don't do it or they don't deal him to somebody that will do it. That's kind of the sad part about it. It's like, all right, he might come and play on his last year because he's still under contract. He didn't want to lose all that money. But it's like, no matter what happens this year, like, does he go all out, try to prove himself? Does he say, fuck it? You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I know he's going to go hard and try to win a Super Bowl, whatever the case may be. But the fact that they're not locking him down, man, it's just, I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see if the master plan, you know, the Adam Peters have and the Commanders is good. They're going to cave. Is Terry going to cave? Let's see. I say give him the extra money. Bring this man in, man.
I think it's going to have to be a little bit of caving on both sides. I don't think Terry is going to walk and get 34, 35 million. I don't think that the Commanders are going to be able, and Adam Peters are going to be able to get this deal done for 24, 25 million. I think we got to find a happy medium and get his man at least 60 million guaranteed and do it. I tell you what, because I watched Terry, he's going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder regardless. But if you give this dude a chip to where he doesn't have a contract and he's playing for a contract, it's going to cost you more money at the end of the year because dude's going to ball out. And now we ain't talking 30, 34, maybe we talking something even heavier. You know what I'm saying? So It's a dangerous game of chicken that's being played on both sides because Terry is entering, like you said, that last year of his contract, and we're entering a situation where if this dude does ball out and he does, put his money where his mouth is, you're going to end up owing him more in the long run, man. I just want to see it done. I want to see it done because it's affecting morale. I don't want to say it's affecting morale, but the energy is different when Terry's not there. I mean, he's a leader. He's one of the dudes that made the shit go. He's a pulse of the team. So we need him in there. I want to see it get done, man, as soon as possible. And if not, then we need to get a number one in there. It's not going to be this year. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think we're going to just fold on a whole fucking year. So, man, where you heard me being confident months before, bro, I'm watching like everybody else at this point, man. I really am.
Yeah, and another sad was like when you think about the running y'all had last year. I seen clips of Terry. Like he's one of the big reasons why y'all even, got to where y'all got last year. His leadership, not only his play on the field, but off the field in the huddle, motivating guys. Going it when that play need to be made. Yo, just give it to me. I got this shit. Whether it be a screen, a deep ball, you can count on him. You can count on him. Just throw it up. You know what I mean? It's like, God damn. So they got to get that shit together over there. I mean, hey, I ain't, hopefully y'all don't. But shit, I feel bad for him because I know how much of a good guy he is, man.
I seen a stat that they said he had more contested catches for touchdowns this year than any receiver within the last 10 years. When you throw it up to him, he's not the biggest, he's not the strongest, he's not the most graceful when it comes to route running. But when the chips are on the table and it's all on the line, man, give me 17, bro. And that's why we love him so much, because we've seen him do it day in and day out. I've been in that stadium so many times and they have nothing to cheer for other than watching Terry do something special. So I want to see this brother get paid. I really, really do. But I'm also appreciative of the organization for not just caving and folding and giving him $40 million because of all that, because we still have an organization to run. We got to run it successfully, man. So like I said, I'm mad at both sides. I'm not mad at both sides. At the end of the day, as a fan, I just want to see the shit get done, man. I want to see it get done.
Definitely. So yeah, we think about Clarissa Shields. There was speculation about rumors that she was going to be fighting Layla Ali for $15 million. Layla Ali said she'll do it when she's ready. Clarissa pretty much said, I wouldn't fight me either. What do you think about, her? Because at one point it seemed like she was ready to fight her tomorrow.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, now it's like, 15 million. I'm getting in there with anybody for 15 million. Mike Tyson, Holyfield, any one of them. It's worth it. Shit. So what do you think is going on with that situation?
I think that you got Layla Ali, who went undefeated in her boxing career and definitely was at the time the woman of boxing, kind of not allowing time to pass and passing the torch to a Clarissa Shields, who is now the face of women's boxing, who has now took women's boxing to another level and got more eyes on it. And she's an absolute monster. She's an absolute demon. And Layla Ali knows that better than anybody. And I don't care if it's 15 million, 20 million, or whether. If you got some people's ego, especially in sports and boxing, that will not allow Layla Ali to walk in the ring knowingly getting her ass whipped for payday. She's not going to do it because her legacy, whether it's fair or not, will be tarnished if she walks in there and gets knocked out by a 17-year younger Clarissa Shields. Clarissa Shields 30. Layla Ali's 47 years old. Sit your ass down. Pass the torch to a new woman in boxing. I don't understand where the beef is between these two. I don't want to see him fight because I would watch it, of course, because it's headlines. But at the end of the day, I think we all know it'll be an absolute massacre. I don't remember the last time Layla's been in the ring. So I think it was all just for talk. I think she's having a hard time allowing Clarissa to pass the torch and be the next woman in boxing. And Clarissa like, yo, what's up? Put your money where your mouth is. And I wouldn't do it either.
I was talking to a couple people and they were suggesting that Layla may beat her. They were pointing to examples like George Foreman when he was in his 40s. Right. And of course I said, hell nah. Hell
that ain't Michael Moore she's fighting, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like
that ain't Michael Moore she's fighting, bro.
She'll get her head fucking split like this. Clarissa, she's a monster, but she is in great shape too. Like I seen her fight. She'll keep on giving it to you, like you know what I mean, until she puts you down. I think she should have more knockouts, in my opinion. Maybe her power's not, where it needs to be, whatever the case may be. But she gonna put it on your ass. She gonna put pressure on you the whole fight.
Yeah.
And Layla was sort of like that too, but you're 47.
Right. I ran
like
a 4.34. I ran a 4.4 and a 40 when I was 19, 20. That don't mean at 41 I'm doing that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a reason why these guys, you got 22-year-olds getting the ring of 40-year-olds and make them look like shit. It's a reason, bro. It's that age. And you could be as great as you want to be, but it's just something about that shit, man.
Yeah, I'll stay away from Clarissa. But I wish I'm not mad at Clarissa because all she's doing is like, all right, if somebody gonna talk, all right, here's the bread. Let's see what you got. If I was Layla, I would just shut up. And all right, in their prime, if Layla was in her prime against Clarissa in their prime, there's an argument there. I think that it wouldn't be as much of a pushover as Layla thinks, because as Clarissa thinks, because I do think Layla may have been the superior boxer in her time. But I don't know if she had that killer instinct the way Clarissa do. That's just a different animal, man. So it would be a great fight if Layla was in her prime, but she's not. We'll never know. Leave her alone.
Do you think, is there a little bit of envy? Because when you look at Clarissa, she kind of reminds you, she got that swag of Muhammad a little bit. I'm the greatest. I'm the great. You know what I mean? She talk a lot of shit. Do you think she's a little, Layla's like, you can't be my pop?
I think that I don't know if it's so much you can't be my pop or so much that you can't steal my spotlight. You can't be more popular in women's boxing than me.
Right.
And when we look at it now, she is. She is more of, I don't know if it's the day and age, the social media, the extra shit. She don't really do much extra shit. I'm talking about like the papoose shit that has her in mainstream conversations, but she is more popular. And when you look at Layla Ali, with her last name Ali, there should be no one above that. And I think that Layla's starting to slowly look and say, damn, there's somebody above that. And her name ain't Layla, it's Clarissa. And I think that, to your point, it is a little envy for 100%. I think she's definitely envious of her.
For sure. But definitely, man. So we're gonna switch over.
Yes, sir.
Let me switch this over real quick. Media. All right, and let me add this video. I want to add this one first. Bills at FDMG. Hold on, that one. Let me take that. Hold on, let me make sure I'm adding all these now.
Yes, sir.
All right, video. Dang, where'd it go? There it is.
Nigga, while I'm on my period.
Oh, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, boy. All right. So let's first before we get to those, let me I want to talk about Boosie with you. Okay. Boosie took a plea deal with the feds, and he's gonna be going away for some time. Possibly, I was hearing anywhere from 3 to 4 years about that. You know, they were offering something much greater, but as he said, he was tired of fighting. He wanted to go ahead and take this deal and just get it over with. What's your thoughts on him going back to the feds, man? Again,
I'm sure it's not something he wanted to do, but Bootsy's a very it's a different situation with him, because this man was literally on death row. Like, he was staring his demise straight in the face. I'm sure for months and maybe even years on end, he thought he was going to die in there, or maybe he kept hope that he wasn't. He ended up not dying in there and got a second chance. You know what I mean? Got a second lease on life. So I'm thinking that when he looked at this situation, this ain't nothing but some lunch to me. You mean to tell me I don't have to spend the rest of my life in here? All right, well, I know I'm built for the shit. I was sitting on death row, for crying out loud. So let me go in here. Let me eat up these couple of years. Let me, you know what I mean, take my losses and go ahead and chalk it up. Do what I got to do, eat this time up and keep it moving. Could it be me? Hell no. You know what I'm saying? I'll be wanting to fight and get the fuck up out of it as much as I could, but at the risk of possibly doing more time. So I guess Bootsy was like, you know what? I'm going to take my losses. I'm going to take these on the chin. I'm going to keep it moving, do a couple of years. It ain't worse than, you know what I mean, where I was in the past. So I'm going to do it and get up out of there. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, real talk. I mean, yeah, like you said, man, you go from death row to thinking you're going to die and never come home. Like, think about those thoughts you have in every day. Like, this is it. It's over with. Mm-hmm. I'm never going to be able to go in the refrigerator. I'm never going to be able to have a woman. All this stuff. And now it's like a little 3 years. It's like, of course, you don't want to do it because, you know, he's touring and he's making money. He's building lakes and shit, putting ponds in a lake. Like, he's out here flourishing. Mm-hmm. But, you know, to me, I think it's kind of sad at the end of the day, because this is a man that's been shot at umpteen times, shot. You know, he's one of those rappers that still have to kind of go to those venues. Though, you know, he's in and out of them hood spots.
Yep.
Where, you know, he could put, not to say that he's, you know, he don't got a lot of money, but it's like he's going in, you know, for 20K in a hole in the wall.
Yep.
He coming through it, and you know, he might be anywhere down south. Them dudes down there is holding choppers like it's water guns.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So at the end of the day, it's just like, you know, you can't blame the dude for having pistols. My only thing will be, dude, just get some security.
Mm-hmm.
T.I. said he in one of his songs back in the day, he spent $500,000 on security per year when he was doing the paper trail joint. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. You gotta, but I don't blame him. Like I'd rather have my life, you know what I mean, and do a few years,
right,
than be put in the box and be worried about going to jail and shit. But you fuck around and get killed.
right.
Now I gotta have this protection on me. You know what I mean, regardless. And he can't have it legally because he's a felon.
Right.
Which I think that it needs to be some reform with all of that. But that's kind of how I feel about the situation, man. It's just a sad situation.
And I think he knew that too. Like, I think that he'd rather be sitting here with at least literally light at the end of the tunnel in 3 or 4 years than to be, you know what I mean, in a box. Rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. You know what I mean? So I think he kind of just took the risk and understood the risk, got caught, and it is what it is. But if given the opportunity again, do we think that Bootsy in 3 or 4 years isn't going to get out and still carry, you know what I mean, weapons if he's going into these areas and making his money for his protection? You're out of your goddamn mind. Hopefully he smartens up a little bit and gets people that are legally allowed to move like that and, you know what I mean, move forward. You got the money. You said T.I. spent $500K. I think that's $500K well invested. You know what I'm saying? Because he walks out of there with his life and ain't nothing on him. Ain't nothing in his hands. So I think Bootsy needs to take heed of that. And 3 or 4 years, I'm sure he'll still have his personality will not allow him to be broke. So he'll still be getting shows and doing different things because of who he is. So hopefully he can learn from that.
Yeah, and like you got to have, you know, president level of security. You know, you're $1 million man, multi-million-dollar man, and you're going in and out of these spots. It got to be on point. Like, you got to have people inside, outside, people watching the car, like all of that. You know what I'm saying? You can't just have a couple of your homeboys,
right?
You know, go out around with you,
right?
You know. But it's just the environments that he particularly puts himself in because he had. Maybe I don't know if he has to, but he does it. And we see the type of spots that he does.
Yeah.
You
that's
know?
That's the bread and butter for him, though. That's where he's gonna get his money. So that's where he's gonna be at. So
yeah. So yeah, you know, more power to Boosie. Let's move over to this one, man. I seen this ignorant ass bitch, Sexy Red. I seen this shit, man. On the internet the other day. I couldn't believe this shit. Let me play this joint. And we'll talk about it.
I fuck a nigga while I'm on my period. If you want it.
I see previewing a new song.
If you want it. Wait, don't do that. I'll take you through that. I'm a real hood rat. She won't get her boo back. I'll fuck you right. Turn up your life. What's up? You know me, I'm trife. Make one wifey. Yeah. He say he never had this and I be teaching him shit. I'm all these niggas fantasy cause I'm a freaky bitch. I be doing shit she can't cause I'm experienced. I fuck a nigga while I'm on my period. Kiss his neck, grip his dick, I got him shivering. He like, nay, I'm finna nut, boy, give me that shit. We in his mama house, he really dropping dick. He telling me to keep it down, but I'm not hearing it. Baddest cook for you, everybody can't fuck me, boo. And we don't fuck with screw. I never leave by glue. Fuck them hoes, I'm through. That dick, I'm like, woo. If you fuck me right, I cash out on you too. That's if you want that.
You on mute, cuz?
Yeah, hold on one second. All right, let me pause. Hold on. Just give me a second. All right, go ahead. Donnie, you put the key right there, man. Hold on. All right, my bad. Station identification.
No, you good. You good. You good.
Shit.
You good.
Yeah. So, all right, man. I couldn't believe that shit when I heard that joint, man. I'm gonna be honest with you though, yo. The beat be knocking on them joints. That's what it be. It be them beats. They be knocking. And I ain't gonna lie, whoever the lyrics is garbage.
Yep.
Beats be knocking. So you hear that joint in the club, you say, oh, you know what I mean? Yep. But what's your thoughts on that? Because all right, we're grown, we're adults, women, they're gonna be watching it, they're adults, you know. But you might have a 11, 12-year-old girl that's gonna hear that. Matter of fact, you will 110%.
Yeah.
They're watching her Instagram. That's where that video came from. They're watching her TikTok. And this is what's out there. No censorship, no nothing. It's right there for the taking. What's your thoughts?
It's a lot wrong with that video, right? And I'm not going to get too deep. We've gotten deep on Sexy Red numerous times, right? And we've had popular people within the culture celebrate this music, say she's next, say they love this hood ratchet shit. That music wasn't good.
Right.
It wasn't good.
That's wow. Yeah.
The lyrics were garbage. The cadence was ass. The flow was garbage. It wasn't good. But the beat was knocking, right? And if, like you said, you hit it on the head, bro. If you in the club and you got a few drinks in you and the lights is moving and that shit come on and you watch women start shaking their ass, you gonna start shaking your ass with them. Because that's what you in there to do. You in there to get women. You know what I mean? You want them in their environment. You looking for some pussy at the end of the day. So as a man, you're going to sit back and enjoy it. But if you in your car and you happen to have your 8, 9-year-old son or daughter in the car, you throwing the radio, you hear that, you turning it off immediately. Why? Because you don't want them to hear that type of example. You don't want them to hear those type of lyrics that are clear as day. It's not like she ain't mumbling. It's just bad. But you could clearly hear what she's saying. And it's an absolute bunch of bullshit. And then she's dancing and trying to show off her parts. And it's just like, you are given the impression that you are a dirty hood hoe that more than likely has diseases that you don't care about because you on to the next nigga, on to that. And that's the dangerous example being set. I ain't talking about the grown ass, thought ass women that are well over age that got 3 or 4 baby daddies and gonna do what they do anyway. I'm talking about their daughters. I'm talking about them. I'm talking about the ones that are following the lead of they trifling ass mamas and also following the lead of this trifling ass musician or artist, quote unquote, that we getting pushed and you know what I mean, forced to listen to and forced to see. And you wonder why. Now, there was a lot of conspiracy as to why the MTV award or the BET awards and the hip hop and Soul Train ended. It's because are we supposed to put that as hot new artist? That's the best new artist right there. That bullshit. Where's the summer hits at? We used to have anthems for the summer, shit that we would rock all summer because this joint will be dope. Soundtracks. If you think about the music that we used to listen to 10, 15 years ago, dog, and listen to this shit now, it makes you sick. It makes you sick. And it's not that it's just Sexy Red, but the fact is she is definitely leading the charge on her wave. And it's bullshit, man. It's not good. It's not sonically pleasing. And the message is even worse. You know what I mean? I almost rather dissect the message in at least some talented music. You know what I mean? Because at least if the music was good, you would kind of get lost in the sound and get lost in the sonic and the melody and the flow, as opposed to being forced to hear that bullshit, man. It's sad to see where hip hop's going. And the saddest thing about it is you have people that we've looked up to in hip hop, people that have done it and paved the way in hip hop, stamping this shit.
Yeah.
It's wild, bro. It's wild.
And that's probably one of the worst parts about it, because we know it's about who's popular. Now, you don't want to offend who's popular. And the machine is pushing her.
Well,
think about that. Like, you know, these execs and stuff, they are pushing this music wholesale. But I'm not even going to come at them and all that and the normal stuff about this and the kids. I'm looking at us. We should be fucking outraged that this shit is even allowed to like, you know how people used to flag people's videos and shit like that? Why nobody ain't doing that? Why nobody ain't Instagram and calling the label and pick? These people should be outside picketing this shit. Like, how dare you promote and preach this message? And even like when you talk about somebody like, let's say a Nicki Minaj, like if she would have done a song like that, it would have been so much more like, you know, nuance to it. Like you said, the shit is like nursery rhymes. I'm going to school with my lunchbox.
Sound just like her.
Yeah, like what the fuck? like if you're gonna, because we had rappers, female rappers that talk that sexual shit before.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But they did it, and you know, I guess I'll say in a more classier way, if that's even, you know, acceptable.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they done it and they talked about it, and you know, it's grown up talk. But this right here matched up with her with the lip gloss and just her whole image and persona right now. I don't know why we're not really outraged. And when I'm not gonna say we're really not, because when you read the comments, if that's any indication, you would see a lot of people's like, this shit is garbage.
Yeah.
This shit is trash. Then I follow up and I come across a video on one of them, you know, blog sites where her shitting on niggas. Oh, this my car go 200. I hope you got money for your rent. Like the shit that we say they do.
Yep.
The shit that we talk about, you get on top, now you're going to shit anybody else below you. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, what have we come to? And I think you killed the point when you talk about the BET award. Like, it's nothing, bro. Like, and then we look at the crazy part about it, the deeper part about this, right? Is that you have, you know, a lot of great artists out there, but they're not being pushed.
Nope.
They're not pushed in the algorithm. And we know the people that control the algorithm, they can push whatever they want. They're not going to push it. They pushing this garbage to keep us in a certain position. And we just sit back and allow it. Like, it's cool. Like, fuck it. The new Sexy Red. You know, boom, boom. You got somewhere in America, you got a mom that's 28 years old and a daughter that's 12 or 10 years old, bumping this shit with each other, looking at each other. Girl, this with a shirt, ass out, all that. You know what I mean? Her mom sitting, her and her mom bouncing to the drink like that. Yep. Somewhere right now. And we think that shit's cool. We ought to be ashamed, man. We ought to be ashamed.
And as you were sitting there talking, I'm thinking like, some of my favorite music growing up was R&B music, right? And I'm sure I was singing some real. I know I was singing some. I was busting bitches down in my music and the lyrics and stuff. I had no idea I was, because it sounded so good and it was so well put together and it was so cleverly written out, to where it's like I didn't realize the adult symbolisms that I was even singing about until I became an adult, really understood what was going on. I say that to say I wasn't out here acting on what I was singing, because I was just enjoying good music. I was just singing good melodies. I was just hearing good songs. And it was layered to where, yeah, kids can listen to it, but they didn't necessarily understand what was going on. Yeah, your mom and your daddy might have understood, and they might have did something after you went to bed with it, but we didn't know that. Nowadays, they just laying it right out there. Lick my pussy on the back because it tastes good. I'll go grab your dick and like, wait a minute. What are we doing? What are we doing?
I got a question for you.
Go ahead, bro.
To the people that are going to say, what, because they're going to talk about men. Oh, you had the Trey Songz, the R. Kellys, the Ushers. In your opinion, what's the difference between a Sexy Red and an R. Kelly or a Trey Songz, who had a lot of, you know what I mean, shit in these songs too? What would you say the main difference?
Talent.
Right.
You think of 12 play. You think of You Remind Me of My Jeep. You think of all these sexual songs that R. Kelly may have written, and let's kind of strip the fact that I know a lot of people may think he wrote about a kid, whatever the case may be. In your adult situation or in your atmosphere, you listening to these songs, he wasn't just blatantly coming out and saying, I'm gonna piss on you, or I'm gonna do something this, or I'm gonna do something that. So it was layered in, like I said, real clever songwriting. You know what I'm saying? Good melodies, good song, good music, to where it wasn't so aggressively given to you in such a raw, disgusting form. And then they didn't follow it up by doing disgusting shit on Instagram or promoting disgusting things on their social media. Yeah, every person that you named behind the scenes in their own personal dwellings may have done some questionable things, but there wasn't something that they were promoting. It wasn't something that they were pushing. For all we know, Sexy Red could be a choir girl. Sexy Red could have 1 or 2 bodies, you know what I'm saying, in real life, but she pushes like she's had 60 in the last 30 days. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. She's promoting this out to other people so that they can do it. But who knows? It's almost like Future selling the drugs and pushing and promoting the drugs, but never really doing it. That I'd rather you give me a Future comparison as opposed to somebody else, because he's actually, like, you know what I mean? You promoting something, but you ain't actually doing it. So I don't know. I like Trace. I like all of those people that you named. Definitely sing about sexual undertones, but how they deliver it is completely different than what we're hearing from her, man.
Right. And I think here's a part I'm gonna end on, man. The dangerous part about this is that, let's say if she is a choir girl for real, she's still promoting this, and we know that this is a copycat, industry. So now you're gonna have girls coming up that think they gotta outdo her.
Outdo, exactly.
How much nastier and more vulgar can you get? And then you look over the internet, you see it gets even worse. Their name is not as big,
right?
But the message is just as disgusting.
Yep.
As a sexy, red. And when we use her as an example, because she's one of the major ones that's being pushed by the machine right now, and the mainstream won't dare call her out. The mainstream want to get money with her.
Yeah.
You got people like Busta and Nelly and all these people. They trying to get a bag. They not really worried about the well-being, what's really going on. So I'm scared of what's gonna come after the sexy reds. Like we're gonna have like a totally nude, you know what I mean? A nude rapper. Like, I don't know where it's gonna go, but it's disgusting, and we need to be outraged. That's my last thought.
When you look at, I'll end on this. When you look at even who's that girl they pushed a couple years ago? I forgot. I had her name in my head, and it just
Ice Spice.
Ice Spice. Thank you. You talk about her 2 years ago. She was on a run, but now she kind of fell off. You don't really hear about her more. Why do we not hear about her, but we hear about Sexy Red a little more? Because Sexy Red keeps pushing that. She keeps pushing that button. She keeps pushing that. Now she's coming out with even ratchier shit. If we ever hear Ice Spice again, it'll be something just as she'll try to top the ratchetness that she's already accomplished. You always got to outdo it. And Sexy Red seems like the type of person that's willing to outdo herself in ignorance. And that's why she continues to stay popular, in my opinion. And a lot of people say, I see her taking pictures and she's beautiful. I'm never going to call her ugly. The girl's not ugly. But when we hear shit like this, when we see shit like this, you cannot tell me you're attracted to it. You cannot tell me you're attracted to this shit. I could not have Sexy Red on my arm to save my life because of the shit that I've heard from her mouth and the things that I've seen. And I damn sure don't want to sleep with her because I don't want to be burning piss the next morning. I'm like, man, it's sad, bro.
Yeah, we can go mad long about this, but it's all good. It's definitely needed. And for the people that's gonna be listening, leave a comment. Let us know what y'all think. Last one, man. Let's So I don't know if you heard about Umar, man. He got some issue where he owes like something like $60,000-$70,000 on the school or whatever the case may be. Well, Charlemagne talked about this.
Oh,
in particular. Wow. Yeah, he actually talked. You got to hear this shit. He talked about it. Let's play it.
Yeah.
The bank is not giving me a timeline as to when this situation is going to be resolved.
Let me tell you something. That video right there should prove to people that Dr. Umar is exactly who he's always claimed to be. Because Dr. Umar has never asked anybody for a personal dollar. People always think that when he's asking for donations, he's doing it for selfish reasons, but the school is in Delaware. Like, we can't sit here and act like that school is not in Delaware. We can't sit here and act like, he hasn't shown us all the renovations he's done on the school. I think,
So what's that have to do with his personal finances?
He said they froze his account.
What's that got to do with the school?
He says that he's paying all those bills through his personal account.
Well, that's not how you run a school.
Oh, Chris, don't, you're asking too many.
So maybe that's the thing. Maybe Dr. Umar just hasn't been up on his business the way he should have been all of these years.
I think that could be
I just don't think Dr. Umar would get out there and personally ask for money if he was using that money for personal reasons. If he was using the money he was getting for schools for personal reasons, even if his account was frozen, he wouldn't get online and expose himself like this and ask for actual money and tell everybody, hey, my accounts are frozen.
I believe him, man. I believe him.
I believe him too. Dr. Umar would not get online and tell people, I don't have any money personally coming in right now. My accounts are frozen.
Because if he was moneying them, he would just say, give me more donations.
Yes.
But this one, he's not saying give donations to the school. He's saying give us personal donations. What Chris brings up, which I think is.
All right, first of all, these two dudes is dumb as a box of rocks. They don't really know what's going on because he did ask to continue to send donations. He said use PayPal. And he has in the past asked for personal donations. All you gotta do is go listen to people on the internet to do shit about him every day. And they'll be able to expose that information. I think Charlemagne he exposed himself
a lot.
You just sat up there and admitted that he wasn't up on this business like that. Maybe. No, ain't maybe. He not. Why you keep promoting him on your show then? And why are you trying to give him an out, bro? And this is the part what I was saying the other day. It's going to come a time he's going to have to draw the line in the sand like Caesar did with Envy, like Envy did with Caesar. but I get it. He has to hold on. I guess they friends or whatever. He has to still hold on, to the semblance that he's connected to the black grassroots. And he's bringing the people on that he chooses and he picks. Because there's a lot of people that are doing great work. He won't touch them.
Yep.
They select the people that they bring on, on their show. What's your thoughts? Unpack that, man, about, what Charlamagne said about Dr. Umar and him asking, for money.
I'm surprised, to be honest with you, because this entire time I almost thought that Charlamagne knew what was going on, but kind of just turned a blind eye for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Because he was cool, because he thought it was popular. I thought he knew a lot more than what he did. And what that shows me is he's completely oblivious to what's really going on. And that's dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Because it's, first off, when you look at somebody as popular nowadays as Umar, the last 3 or 4 years, just due to skyrocketed in popularity, from going just to black sectors and black content creators and black spaces, to where people were kind of trying to learn knowledge and knowledge of self and different type of things that he was delivering, to now he's a household name. You white, Umar. You on Twitter, Umar. You know what I mean? You ain't got to be in a black sector or be listening necessarily to black content to know who Umar is, because he's a household name. And a lot of that is because of the promotion from the Breakfast Club, point blank, period. Probably one of the biggest outlets, hip hop outlets, cultural outlets we have out there still to this day. And when you hear him say that he never personally asked for donations, when you hear him say that he has a school that he's been doing renovations on, have you been living under a fucking rock?
Right.
Like, what? Did you see have you watched any videos of Umar showing the inside of that school? And if you looked at the dockets on the Delaware website, it says that building has been vacant for 10 plus years. So what renovations can be done on a vacant building for 10 plus years? Please tell me. And if you just, it don't take a rocket scientist. We're not out here doing federal investigations. I scroll on my timeline. You put Umar Johnson in on your search bar on Twitter, X, whatever. This shit will come up. It's clear as day. It's not hard to find. And the fact that he can talk as clueless as he talked. And it was almost like at one point I thought that his boy was like, damn, even his white boy know that Umar's scamming. And he kind of trying to hold back because Charlamagne, for whatever reason, will not accept the fact that this dude is a goddamn swindler. He's a scammer and he's not who he says he is. Unless Charlamagne does know that, but he's trying to keep this image of the mainstream image, because you ain't keen to what the streets are really saying, that I'm going to keep this image of keeping the black man's name up, not doing this to a black man. But at the end of the day, bro, black or not, he's out here scamming and taking from black people. And you ask why somebody will come publicly and start asking for money. There's a few reasons why. I'm not going to speculate because I don't know. But you'd be the judge. You look at a man sweating fucking bullets in his car with his seatbelt on. You mean tell me you got the seatbelt on, but you ain't got the air on? And you sweating bullets talking about give me a couple dollars. What do you think that is, Charlamagne? So it's extreme ignorance. I can't believe he just said what he said, man. It just shows that he's completely oblivious. And maybe he should be doing a little more research before he gets people on his platforms doing this, because he will fall into a situation with envy where he has to go, oh, I didn't, because there's some people knocking. It's some alphabet people knocking real soon. The doors are crashing down on Umar day by day. And for him to say this just shows an extreme sense of negligence and ignorance in my part on Charlamagne.
Yeah, it's and the crazy part about it, think about it. You work for the biggest radio station in New York.
Yep.
You don't gotta do no research. You got people that do it for you and brief you. What's going on? All right, this is what they saying on the internet. This is what here's the information. Here's the factual stuff. Here are the rumors. When we bring them in, let's ask them about this. Let's talk about this. Let's go into this. But you don't want to do that because that's your friend.
Yep.
That's your friend. So you don't want to push the envelope. And you would do it with everybody. Remember Charlamagne? He pushed the envelope with any and everybody. He had no picks.
Yep.
But now he started watering himself down and not really going in and digging deep. You notice Umar, he only selects certain podcasts that he'll go on. He's very smart when it comes to selectively picking, because he knows, if he goes with certain people, that's going to be a confrontation. They're not going to settle. And some people just don't know. So they don't know the right questions to ask. So he'll never come talk to us and other people like that. And he'll consider us haters, whatever the case may be, or something like that. When we just really want to ask genuine questions. Maybe we don't know. Maybe we're wrong about this, but talk to us.
Yep.
But here's what I was saying yesterday too. And Charlamagne, it's sad, obviously, And the guy, his co-host Andrew Schultz, he has been on record calling Umar out for years.
Yeah.
About certain different things, and we didn't see the whole clip, so maybe he said something more in that particular one. But even asking for money, nigga, get a job.
Please.
You're a doctor. Why are you asking people for money?
Right.
You're a doctor. You're just clinical this. You can't go get a job real quick. Like, are we serious?
Right.
And the dude even hit it on the head too. He's like, that's not how you run the school.
Period.
You heard the dude said it, but they shoved that shit under the rug. You know what I mean? But I want to get to this. I want to ask you this, but it's something I pondered yesterday. I was saying that I think Umar alienated himself. And I made an example of the guy Randall in Georgia and how he takes donations from white people, East Indians, all groups of people. And I made another analogy of like, Umar thinks he's so good that he only want to collect the black dollar, but these other races come in our communities, they set up shop, they take the money and they put their kids through colleges and private schools with our money that we put into their businesses. We should be doing the same. Do you think Umar alienated himself from whites, Asians, interracial people, anything where he could be getting that dollar to help him, but he's so divisive that now you put yourself in a box that only certain black people will want to even give you money?
I think it's a combination of ignorance on his part and intent. And what I mean by intent is his intent was never to open a school, in my opinion. And when you look at how he can manipulate black people, because he knows how to tug on the heartstrings of black people, he knows that they will give without much resistance early on. Now, if a white person donates, or if an Asian person donates, if somebody puts a donation out, a lot of people outside of our culture look at those donations as investments. And they may not want a return when it comes to money, but they want a return when it comes to work, to investments, and they want to see that return. If they give you donation to open a school in 3 to 5 years, they want to see a goddamn school. And they're going to hold you accountable for that and make sure that you're doing the things to put in line to follow their donation, because they're going to make sure they follow that donation to its conclusion. And when you can tug on the heartstrings of black people and bring up emotions and bring up things that we've suffered and bring up things that have been done to us, oh yeah, we can blindly give somebody anything because that's just in our nature. It's unfortunate, but it's in our nature. And I think Umar is very smart and intelligent enough to know how to manipulate us. And he's done an exceptional job of it. So I think it's a level of ignorance, but I also think more importantly, it's intent. And his intent was never to open a school. His intent was always to scam. And he knew who to scam. And he knew who not to scam.
Wow. That's deep. Because I kind of seen it like he maybe wanted to do it, but you may be right though. I think he may have wanted to do it, but he figured he just mismanaged his money, and he think that he can keep getting money forever. When he really what he should have did, and this is what Charlemagne should be asking him as well. You're a nonprofit organization.
Yep.
Can we see your books?
Yep.
Charlemagne's a multimillionaire. He can come to Charlemagne and be like, yo, hold on. Charlemagne, bro, look, I've been going hard at this, bro. I'm $200,000 short. Do you have maybe you and a group of friends that want to help? Why don't you do that? How much money does Charlemagne and Envy and Angela Yee and all them people give to him? If you were transparent, what we're asking for to say, look, family, I got $850,000. I need 1.3 million, or I need another $150,000. I'm gonna put this GoFundMe up. Let's get it. I guarantee you he would get it because he's being transparent and honest.
Facts.
I'm sure Charlemagne will drop something. He may not drop the whole 150, he may drop 25, 15. Envy will drop because you're being honest and transparent.
Man, if the dude was being honest, we would have had how many live platforms we have had having people donate and gave them the entire contribution to him in his school. I guarantee you we would have did probably 50 by now if he was honest about it, because ain't nobody want to see him fail. I know we do these videos and we get on Umar now, but originally nobody wanted to see that brother fail. Wanted to see him win. That's why it's so aggravating to watch him do what he's doing.
Right. So, and that's the questions we got to be asking. Like, yo, put this shit up. Let us see what's going on. You hiding shit. You're not telling us what's going on. You begging for this. You begging for that. You're not being accountable to not one soul, not even the donors. They don't know what's going on for real.
Right.
So this is an all-time mismanagement of the whole situation. And you get mad about people. Of course, we're going to talk about it. And then here's one last thing I want to say, man, on it. And I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again. You got brothers out here with no Joe Buttons, no Breakfast Club, no Shade Room, World Star, no major. You know, they're not household names, like you said.
Right.
But they're taking every single dollar and reinvesting into the future.
Yep.
Every dollar that they get, they out there in the cold helping boys do practical things and, you know, changing tires and batteries and HVAC work. And not only that, teaching them in the classroom, teaching them how to, you know, disarm a gun.
Yep.
To make sure that the clip is empty, like practical shit. All the shit that Umar talked about, his brother's doing it with no recognition. That's why I don't give him any slack when it comes to this shit. It looks like a fucking scam. His brothers out here doing the Zyx Institute in Brooklyn.
Yep. Q Butter.
Teaching kids STEM.
Yep.
Randall with his school. I forget the name of it.
King Randall. Yep.
It's countless brothers out here doing. Whether brother out on the football field, a brother, you know, whatever, mentoring, whatever he's doing, it's people out here doing it for real. That's never on the internet. All you doing is talking on the internet. Show us something. And then I said, yo, just start small, dog. We all know we started with 0 subscribers. We started in your backyard and shit.
Yep.
When you was out, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's just like you got to start small sometime. We can't just jump into a big ass fucking studio that we had before. We had to start from square one. Start with 5 boys, 10 boys. Make it online first and then build up, bro.
Right.
That what goes to show you that I don't think he's really serious about it. You may be right about him scamming the whole time. That's kind of all I got on it.
Yeah, that's all I got on it. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But after a few years of really looking at it, man, I think his intent the whole time was just to grab money. And it's unfortunate because he had something real good, man. And I don't know if we'll ever know. I don't know if we'll ever know if there was genuinely a school in line or if he genuinely wanted to do it or what happened and what kind of turned it to where it is now. I don't know if we'll ever know, man. But
one last thing. I'm gonna say this. I feel like, first of all, I don't feel like his accounts are frozen. Maybe they are.
Right.
I feel like this is gonna be like the precursor, the setup to say, all right, they froze the account, they took the money, and he loses the school. I hope it don't happen, but I kind of he reminded me the dude Polite. Well, Polite was on this construction site and said he was building houses and shit. Low-income houses, and he didn't even own the site. Like they didn't even know who he was. He acted like he's built these low-income houses.
Yo, it could be possible, man. It could be possible, and now we talking time.
Yep. So
hopefully we won't get to that, but we'll see.
Yeah. Anybody who listen, man, make sure you guys leave a comment. Make sure you guys thumb up the video. We definitely appreciate everybody checking in. Another episode of the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. Be sure to check us out. Also, type in Blackballed Sports Podcast on YouTube. We got our thing going over there, so check us out. Show some love and support. That's your brother Sam Man of our Hip Hop News, and your brother Hip Hop News Uncensored, together with the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. We'll run out, y'all.
Peace.